Kurunji Senior Secondary School, CBSE, Namakkal.
Successful result producing school in state every year.
Administered by the Board of Directors with over 35 years of experience in the teaching field.
Special attention on art, craft, music, dance, silambam, yoga, skating and karate.
Focus on Hindi Sabha and Spell Bee Olympiad exams.
Smart class for effective and innovative learning and well-furnished library.
Solitary importance on sports and games in state and national level.
WhatsApp facilities to know activities of students and school inside the campus.
Free bus for LKG to 8th standard.
Free, hygienic and nutritious food.
NEET, JEE, IIT coaching experts from Rajasthan and Andhra Pradesh along with our effective teachers.
Admission registration for classes LKG to +2.
Talent cum scholarship exam will be held on 14/4/2020 and 19/4/2020.
Kurunji Educational Institutions, CBSE and State Board, Namakkal.
Kurunji Educational Institution, Kavetipatti, Namakkal. Admission in progress. CBSE, KG to 12, contact 9025895176. Metric 6 to 12, contact 9344567484. For online admission, log on to www.kurunjischoolnkl.in.
In continuation to the last class, in this class we start with the problem number 18. See here, answer the following questions, right? So, first we are going to see there are 4 questions like A, B, C, D, right? Okay, first we are going through the question and then immediately I will go for respective answer. Okay, then it is there should be no gap, right? First question. A steady current flows in a metallic conductor of non-uniform cross section. Say which of these quantities is constant along the conductor current. That is what along the conductor. One is current density, electric field, drift speed. So they have given 4 quantities. So what are the 4? Current density, electric field, drift speed. So out of all these 4, which of these quantities is constant? So he mentioned which of these means either one or more, no problem, but we have to answer. So which of these quantities is constant along the conductor? Right, one is current density, then electric field and drift speed. Okay, before that what they have given? A steady current flows in a metallic conductor of non-uniform cross section. Okay, now you come to the answer. See this. Only current is constant because it is given to be steady. Other quantity means what? Current density, electric field, drift speed. So these will change. These vary inversely with the area of cross section. Okay, right. I'll repeat once again. So out of these, see when a steady current flows in a metallic conductor of non-uniform cross section, current is constant. Okay, current density, electric field, drift speed. Current density, electric field, drift speed. These 3 things will change. And which are inversely proportional. Which changes inversely with area of cross section. Okay, right, full stop. Next question, B. Is Ohm's law universally applicable for all conducting elements? Is Ohm's law universally applicable for all conducting elements? If not, give examples of elements which do not obey Ohm's law. Right. See this. So the answer is no. So is Ohm's law universally applicable for all conducting elements means the answer is no. Why? Because Ohm's law is not that is what is empirical law. Ohm's law is a empirical law, right? That's why I am adding one more sentence, but answer to the question is no. Ohm's law is not inversely applicable for all conducting elements, right? In continuation to that, if not, give examples of elements which do not obey Ohm's law. So, which do not obey Ohm's law means which are called as non-ohmic elements or non-ohmic conductors. So, what are the examples? See here, vacuum diode, see here, vacuum diode, and then semiconductor diode, and then thermistor or thyristor, okay, right, thyristor, then gas discharge tube, and I didn't write here, you can also say that electrolytic solution, okay. So, these are the examples, etc., right. So, there is no limit, but etc. So, based on our discussion, we can say that vacuum diode, semiconductor diode, thyristor, gas discharge tube, the examples of non-ohmic conductors, otherwise vacuum diode, semiconductor, thyristor, gas discharge tube, these things are the examples of elements which do not obey Ohm's law, right. Next question, see here, a low voltage supply from which one needs high current, a low voltage supply from which one needs high current must have very low internal resistance, Why? The question is, a low voltage supply from which one needs high current, must have very low internal resistance, Why? See the answer. Here, he is saying that the supply is low voltage, but we need high current. Their internal resistance must be low. Why? The answer he is asking, the reason he is asking, right? What is the answer means? See here, the maximum current that can be drawn from a voltage supply, you can write like this, no? The maximum current that can be drawn from the voltage supply, that is what I maximum is equal to epsilon by R. Okay. See, to get maximum current, that is what to get a large I maximum, what about R? R should be small, no? That only he is saying. I maximum will be large if R is small. I maximum will be large if R is small. Right, next. What is the next? D. Why a high tension supply of say 6 kilovolt? Why a high tension supply of say 6 kilovolt must have a very large internal resistance? High tension wires, I think you can experience, right? So, from power production or power generation project to the substation, which is near to our district headquarter or model headquarter, whatever it may be, based on the size of the population, they will maintain. But anyhow, to transfer power, electrical power from the generating station, from the power generating station to a town, to a particular town, we are using poles and high tension wires. No, you also can see outside of the town. Okay. So, these high tension wires in this area, in this application, what he is saying is the high tension supply of say 6 kilovolt, must have a very large internal resistance. Why? That he is asking the reason why they required very large internal resistance. Right. The answer is, see here, no? The resistivity of see here, to avoid short circuit in the circuit, as simple as such, the answer will be to avoid short circuit in the circuit. Okay. See, if the internal resistance is large, okay. Suppose if the internal resistance is not very large, then the current will exceed the safety limits. In the case the circuit is short circuited accidentally. Okay. So, this is a single answer, but if you want to explain, you can say that if the high tension wires not having very large resistance means the current will exceed safety limits. Current will exceed safety limits means how can we understand? How can we understand, ma? See, for example, in rainy times, sometimes you can see, for example, there is a tree. Rainy means a tree will become totally wet, and just beside the tree there are electrical wires which carries electrical current. I am not talking about high tension wires. Even in our town itself, near our house itself, I am saying. Sometimes, especially that situation, that is what a rainy time when the tree is totally wet, and when the wire which carries electrical power will touch the branch of a tree, then sometimes fire will be taken. But this is not only in summer. Sometimes this is not only in rainy season. Sometimes in summer also. Sometimes in summer also the same situation you can experience. That is what you can call it as short circuit. So there you can say that the current exceeds safety limits. But in my example, the example what I told you, in that example, even though the current is not exceeding its limit, based on the situation it may happen. But here it is not like that. Here definitely, high tension wires means which carries large amount of, large quantity, right? Large value of electrical power. That's why there we must take a lot of precautions, okay? Because this high tension wires also carrying, in our fields, right? That's why definitely safety limits is compulsory. So here, why a high tension supply of say 6 kilovolt must have a very large resistance means the most important thing is to avoid the current to exceed safety limits. Suppose if you are not using large resistance means definitely current will exceed safety limits, then it will lead to the short circuit. It will lead to the short circuit, okay? That's what you can say. It will lead to the short circuit in the given circuit. Right, next question. This is what question number 19. Choose the correct alternative. Choose the correct alternative. Okay. So it is like just like bit. That is what, just like MCQ like that. No, MCQ means they will give 4 options, but here there are only 2 options. We have to select which of the option is correct. Okay. So that's why I didn't write answer separately. There itself I put a tick mark 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, right. So you please be observe carefully. I will read the question and then I will go for answer there itself. See here. A. Alloys of metals usually have resistivity, I mean greater or lesser, anything you have to select, right? Anything you have to select. Alloys of metals usually have resistivity than that of their constituent metals, right? So you have to select the greater. So this is what applications, we studied this one in our theory. Alloys of metals usually have greater resistivity. What is the definition of resistivity? Resistivity is nothing but what? R is equal to rho into L by A. Rho is equal to R A by L. Okay. So resistivity is the resistance of a conductor having unit area of cross section and unit length. Unit area of cross section and unit length. So alloys usually have, see here. Alloys of metals usually have greater resistivity than that of their constituent metals. Right, next. B. See here. Alloys usually have much, that is what, lower or higher temperature coefficients of resistance than pure metals, right? Here the answer will be lower. See, alloys usually have much lower temperature. Alloys usually have much lower temperature coefficients of resistance than pure metals. Okay, right. So here out of the lower and higher, we have to select lower based on the situation or based on the concept, what he is asking. Here it is what? Resistivity. Here it is what? Temperature coefficient of resistance. Next, C. The resistivity of alloy manganene, the resistivity of alloy manganene is nearly independent of slash increases rapidly with the increase of temperature, okay, right. So what I am saying is the resistivity of the alloy manganene is nearly independent of slash increases rapidly with the increase of temperature, So what can we say here? It is what? So we have to select is nearly independent of. The resistivity of the alloy manganene is nearly independent of, right? Independent of, that is what? With increase of temperature, rapidly with increase of temperature, right? Next one, that is what? D. See here, the resistivity of a typical semiconductor, that is in the bracket, for example amber, right, is greater than that of a metal by a factor of the order of 10 to the power of 22 slash 10 to the power of 3. Okay, I will repeat once again. The resistivity of a typical semiconductor, in the bracket, it is what the example is amber, is greater than that of a metal by a factor of the order of 10 to the power of 22, 10 to the power of 3. Okay, here this is the order, 10 to the power of 22 is the order, so we have to select this one. So he is asking now, that's why the resistivity of a typical semiconductor is greater than that of a metal by a factor of the order of 10 to the power of 22. Okay, next question, that is what? Question number 10. Okay, question number 10. See this, there are 3 things A, B, C. Okay, so there itself, for example, it is A, so here only we have answer, right? It is A, here only we have answer. Then it is B, here only we have answer. C, here only we have answer, right? So there itself I have written answers, so you can check there only, right? First A, given n resistors of each resistance, capital R, given n resistors each of resistance capital R, how will you combine them to get one maximum to minimum effective resistance? One maximum effective resistance, 2 is the minimum effective resistance. 1 is the maximum effective resistance, 2 is the minimum effective resistance. What is the ratio of the maximum to minimum resistance? What is the ratio of the maximum to minimum resistance? Okay, right. So he has taken n resistors, each of resistance capital R. How will you combine them to get the one maximum to minimum effective resistance? Question mark. What is the ratio of the maximum to minimum resistance? What is the ratio of the maximum to minimum resistance? Okay, right. See the answer. You know very well. See, to get the maximum effective resistance, whatever the resistors they have given, which are n number of resistors, we must connect in series, right? So suppose, for example, you have n number of resistors, means all n number of resistors which are having equal resistance, you must connect in series to get the maximum effective resistance. Am I right? Okay. So when you do like that, when you are connecting n number of resistors, each of resistance capital R, then what is the maximum effective resistance? Rs is equal to n into capital R. Rs is equal to n into capital R. Next, to get the minimum effective resistance, all the N resistors must be connected in parallel. To get the minimum effective resistance, all the N resistors must be connected in parallel. That is what 1 by Rp is equal to 1 by R plus 1 by R plus 1 by R dash 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 plus 1 by R. Okay. So Kila, the denominator we will get capital R. In the numerator it will be small n. Then what is Rp? Rp is equal to R by N. Rp is equal to R by N. Okay. So that only I have written here. Rp is equal to R by N. For minimum effective resistance, Rp is equal to R by N. For maximum effective resistance, Rs is equal to N into capital R. N into capital R. Okay. For maximum effective resistance, Rs is equal to N into capital R. For minimum effective resistance, Rp is equal to R by N. Rp is equal to R by N. Okay. Why? Because here it is what R plus dash 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 plus R. Okay. So totally how many are there? So totally N into R now. So that's why you can write NR. Rs is equal to N into R. For minimum effective resistance, Rp is equal to, that is what 1 by R. Actually 1 by Rp is equal to 1 by R plus 1 by R like that. So it will be N by capital R. Then Rp is equal to what? Reverse R by N. Now he is asking the ratio. What is the ratio of the maximum to minimum resistance? What is the ratio of the maximum to minimum resistance? So the ratio will be Rs by Rp is equal to N square by 1, or N square is to 1. N square is to 1. Right. Next, B. Given the resistance of 1 ohm, 2 ohm, 3 ohm, how will you combine them to get an equivalent resistance of this one more? 11 by 3 ohms, 11 by 5 ohms, and then 6 ohms, and then 11 by 6 ohms. There are 4 things. Okay. There are 4 things. I didn't write here, but I am writing directly. See, that is what 11 by 3 ohms. I am reading. You just observe carefully. Given the resistance of 1 ohm, 2 ohm, 3 ohm, how will you combine them to get an equivalent resistance of 11 by 3 ohms, 11 by 5 ohms, 11 by 6 ohms, 6 ohms and 11 by 6 ohms. So it's a logical question. Is a logical question. So if we connect, just we are assuming the given resistors as R1, R2, R3. R1 is equal to 1 ohm, R2 is equal to 2 ohms, R3 is equal to 3 ohms, right? To get 11 by 3 ohms, to get 11 by 3 ohms, we have to do like this. So 1 ohm and 2 ohm should be connected in parallel, and 3 ohm should be connected in series to this combination. That is what can 2 into 1 by 2 plus 1 plus 3 is equal to 2 by 3 plus 3, that is equal to 11 by 3 ohms. Second one, so 1 ohm we have to take here, 2 ohms and 3 ohms should be connected in parallel. So 1 plus 2 into 3 by 2 plus 3, it will give us 11 by 5 ohms. Next, all the resistors should be connected in series to get 6 ohms, right? To get 11 by 6, all should be connected in parallel, 1 ohm, 2 ohm, 3 ohm, right? That is what 1 by R effective is equal to 1 by 1 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3. That is what will give us 11 by 6. Will give us 11 by 6, okay? So if you do the arrangements in this manner, you will get the respective resistance values what he is asking, like 11 by 3 ohms and 11 by 5 ohms, 6 ohms and 11 by 6 ohms, right? Next question. See, determine the R equivalent of the following networks. Determine the R equivalent of the following networks, right? So it is one network, it is another network. So in these two networks, we have to determine the equivalent resistance. We have to determine the equivalent resistance. Okay, see here, it is what A, B, C, D, E points, and it is 1 ohm, 1 ohm, 1 ohm, 1 ohm like that. That's what Mela. Kila 2 ohm, 2 ohm, 2 ohm, 2 ohm like that. Okay, this is the combination, no? Okay, right. Now it is A, it is E. Okay, here if you observe carefully, these are the connecting points, but these two are in series, no? 1 ohm, 1 ohm is in series. So 1 ohm plus 1 ohm, 2 ohms. Next, it is 2 ohms, 2 ohms, which is what? 4 ohms. These two are in series, these two are also in series. But the combination of this and the combination of this will be in parallel. See here, 2 ohms and 4 ohms are in parallel. Similarly here, same thing will repeat. It is 2 ohms and it is 4 ohms. and it is 2 ohms and it is 4 ohms, it is 2 ohms and it is 4 ohms, right? Now these two are in parallel now, right? These two are in parallel now, right? These two are also in parallel now, right? In that manner, if you see, it will be 4 by 3 ohms, it is 4 by 3 ohms, 4 by 3 ohms, 4 by 3 ohms. Now all are in series now, right? We are going to just add 4 by 3 plus 4 by 3 plus 4 by 3 plus, this is the equivalent resistance, which is 16 by 3 ohms. 16 by 3 ohms. Next here, this is one. Here there are no joining points. See, these all are like a straight line. Just by for appearance they have given like that. Okay, but if you stretch by holding one of your hand here and another hand here, you know, if you stretch, it will be like all are in series. So there are 5 resistors, each of resistance capital R. Okay, there are 5 resistors which are connected in. There are 5 resistors. There are 5 resistors. All are having equal resistance capital R. Okay, all are connected in series now. That's why the R effective will be 5R. R effective will be 5R. Okay, that is the so in this circuit, in this network, the equivalent resistance will be 16 by 3 ohms. In this, the equivalent resistance will be, that is 5R. Okay, right. Thank you. So in this class we discussed 3 problems, 18, 19 and 20. Okay, right. In our next class we will continue with the next continuation problem. Thank you.